why suddenly the car gets in an accident and the priest dies, but Grace survives. Father Romero believes that Michael was here to find about the missing relic from the 12th century. This covenant's housing a relic believed to be the forces of darkness. But during the earthquake in 1993, a part of the covenant cliff subsided and the ocean claimed the crypt in which it was kept. Father Romero states that he's glad that the crypt is gone because he didn't like the Crusaders. It always gave the church a bad reputation. He offers books to Grace on the history of the relic and the relations with the Crusaders. As she's reading, another nun brings her a book from centuries ago, and it has strange symbols in it. And it's the same writing that she taught her younger brother earlier. And isn't that odd? Grace's confusion grows even further. She got another vision in which the Crusaders had captured a child. They were bringing her into a covenant by saying the child is the source of darkness. From all of this, Grace had another intuition. She walked right down to the basement. As she touched the flowers, she gets another vision. Father Carol is torturing Michael. They wanted the relic back, but Michael doesn't know where it was. He was too searching for it, but Mother Superior was convinced that he was lying, and hence she ordered nuns to throw him off the top. As they tried, Michael involuntarily grabbed Father Carol's rod and stabbed him with it, and the father died on the spot. Grace is horrified by this image, but before she can even process it, another nun is running towards her with a knife, getting ready to cut her in half. The nun is convinced or brainwashed that Grace is evil and she is going to take her out to end it once and for all. As she moves forward to try to stab Grace, she loses control and she stabs herself and dies on the spot. Grace is clearly distraught and just wants to run and get away from this place. When she takes off, she runs into Inspector Harris. And it's hard for him to believe the story about the relic and even trusting Mother Superior. After being questioned by the inspector, Grace is let go because the father has an alibi saying that they did see, the other nurse stab herself. Nun stab herself. And also, the inspector does believe it just because a few weeks earlier, we had that nun that stabbed herself in the eye, so he lets her go. Grace now directly goes to the jail to meet with her foster dad, and he is not happy to see her, and he still believes that he is dead. He says that he saw her on the shore when she was 10 years old, and that's when he adopted her and her brother in, but that he knew that she was evil and wishes that fucking she was dead and starts banging his head on the glass. Back at the station, Mother Superior is telling Inspector Harris that Grace is the relic, and Michael knew it but didn't get it, and so the darkness didn't go into him. He refused to help, and so he paid the price. And now Grace is rushing back to the Covenant where she wants to meet up with Father Romero, but he is conducting some sort of cleaning ritual with the nuns. Grace is seeing Sister Meg as she walks over to her. The one-eyed nun runs up to her and is going to stab her, but before she gets there, her arm breaks and it looks like she is possessed. And Sister Meg is horrified and she goes running off to that place that she went earlier where Grace had that vision where Meg cut herself. So Grace turns around and runs after Meg to try to stop her. But it's too late. Meg cuts her wrist and she's bleeding all over the place. When Grace gets there, Meg looks at her and she's like, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. And she holds her and dies in Grace's arms. She looks up and she sees herself in the mirror, but it's not her. It's a different one where she's all bloody and she's thinking maybe there is something wrong with her. Maybe her dad was right.